Are we?
Oh. Welcome to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. Except the blood of the poor and the words they mouth. The last gas of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy it out.
That's the essence of your entire political identity. You might be a white supremacist.
Hey, yes, it is a. That was the perfect way to start the show, Miracle.
He had three names. He played Capote. What? Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I thought you said a black dude.
No. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
We're live. People have no idea what we're talking about.
He was okay. We're talking about, for those that just watched, we're talking about like Bond versus Mission Impossible. He was an okay villain. That wasn't one of my favorite though. Ghost Protocol was my favorite of the Mission Impossibles. Skyfall was the best of the James Bonds, in my humble opinion. You know
I mean, I think I agree with you. Skyfall is I don't even that's an opinion. I think Skyfall is just superior.
Superior movie. So welcome to This Week in White Supremacy. But that side that Miracle let out, that's really, it's white supremacy on a whole nother. Is it on a whole nother level, or is it just that we're just getting a lot of it in like mainstream media or news? You know, we have
next level supremacy.
Yeah.
I think this week it's been like turned up a few notches on some Emerald Lagasse, like bam. You know what I mean? I think that they've definitely you know what I mean? I know white supremacy doesn't really come seasoned, but if it did, this is what we got this week, man. You know what I mean?
No, I think the title of the show should be Next Level Supremacy. It's next level supremacy happening right now. We're gonna get into it. I'm Jasiri X. I'm the co-founder and CEO of One Hood. My brother.
I'm Treble NLS. Never liked supremacy.
Show the hardware.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, all right.
It's like Pulp Fiction. It's like Pulp Fiction.
The trunk on y'all.
Let's say that. Let's say that.
Saved.
It's like
Stick around because we do have some black excellence for y'all. Let's say that.
Let's get it.
Let's say the black excellence. You know what I'm saying? And the twins, the country and the culture. Is that
we just some random black people, man? That's all we are.
Some regular black people at the office.
Yeah, man. I heard we heard that they was taping the show here today, and we were like, you know what?
Might as well.
We'll just pull up and see if we don't know what's happening. We just happy to be here.
Well, we're happy.
Yeah, we just here so we don't get fired. That's all.
We don't get fined. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Marshawn.
Fine.
You know something I don't know?
I don't know.
No,
I don't know nothing.
So
No,
welcome. I mean, I guess we can start with it's a lot of trials. I mean, it's you have the Rittenhouse trial, you have the trial of the men that killed Ahmaud Arbery, you have a possible execution of an innocent man in Oklahoma. We just found out that we lost another young brother, a hip hop artist, Young Dolph. May he rest in peace. It's just a lot happening right now. It's probably some stuff that I missed. You know what I'm saying? So I guess we can start with the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. So I want to come to you, Miracle, because two things happen that people
see what happens when you just show up. We come to you for legal advice. Hey, that's some shit.
I mean, two things happened that people looked at and thought this is strange, right? We saw one, Kyle Rittenhouse, a charge was dropped carrying a dangerous weapon. I mean, there's pictures and video of this dude with an AK-47 just roaming around. He's only 17 years old. So people looked at that and said, damn, I mean, well, the AK isn't a dangerous weapon. And then you had a situation where the judge actually had Kyle Rittenhouse choose like who his jurors and alternates would be. And a lot of people also said this is very unusual and strange. And this is after a lot of behavior from this judge that people looked at as biased towards Kyle Rittenhouse, right? He slammed the prosecutor. It looked like he would be, I guess he was mad at the media for this. So is this unusual, Miracle, or is this just like how white supremacy works in America and we just haven't seen it in 4K?
No. I would say that it is unusual in the sense that he is acting like this towards white prosecutors. We have seen, even just here in Allegheny County, how a lot of Black and brown defense attorneys have been treated within the court system.
Right.
And so it's very weird how he's acting, and it's very curious. I keep saying he's playing to the cameras, but even today when he was talking about the blacks and the straw, which just happened to be the black person in optics, is just like, what are you trying to do? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Usually when judges know that the eyes of the world are upon them, they try to be super objective. They try to explain their decisions in ways that people understand.
Like Judge Lance Ito did in the OJ trial.
Something like that. And here it's just like he's playing a character on TV, because this is like super outlandish. And I hope that people really see the importance of showing up and voting for judges, because he ran unopposed his last term. And so it's very important that people pay attention to these trials and be like, and understand that it's very important to unfortunately participate in the buffoonery and engage in these electoral processes, because these are the people that really are dispensing justice. And if you have someone who doesn't understand how to enlarge a text on their phone, and they don't understand how technology works, and they're the ones who really get to dictate what evidence comes into a courtroom, that's a problem. If you have someone who thinks it's okay to like talk about race in such a disparaging way when trying to be relational, that is a problem. And so I hope people are watching this trial and some of the other trials ongoing and seeing how judges are really supposed to act and what happens when there's a lack of decorum in the courtroom.
Damn. Yeah, there's a question that said, which charge did the judge say he would appeal if the jury found guilty on that charge? I didn't even know he said that.
I didn't know the judge could
appeal a certain charge.
The part of it was part of his explanation in dismissing the weapons charge. That he doesn't believe that it met the requirements. And there's an argument about the way the law is written. Usually, that is up to the jury to decide. But what is really good in this case is if he is saying this possession of a dangerous weapon doesn't entail these type of guns, now it's incumbent upon people to go back and look at who has been convicted of these charges in the past and make sure that they're now thrown out and dropped out as well. So that's going to be like the next step.
And that would rest within the prosecutor or the district attorney?
The defense attorneys would have to file an appeal. But what people also need to be mindful of is the way the judiciary works is like, he probably won't get fired. He probably won't get sanctioned. They'll just say, you can't act like this again. So when it's a Black person on trial or a Muslim person on trial or a queer person on trial, they'll be precluded from acting how this judge acted, but nothing really will happen with this judge, because again, the legal field very rarely steps out to discipline one of their own unless it's for really egregious behaviors.
I was going to say he complained about the media today. So he was actually saying that he might not even allow a live stream of his trials anymore because of how he feels like he's been unfairly criticized. So I mean, you got to do that. Don't even care. I'm just saying that's how much he don't care.
Yeah, that's an ongoing complaint, and that's what judges use to limit, transparency in the courtroom. But my feeling is, if you don't want people writing about you a certain way, don't act a certain way.
Yeah, don't do stupid shit
in the courtroom, and then to go back and explain. It's just not that; it's his behavior. It's just like so apparently foul, and it doesn't even matter if he's biased or not. It's just the way he's talking to people, the way he's yelling at people. It's like, court doesn't have to go this way. Like, you're over here on camera, you're on break, and you have, like you're shopping for cookies, your phone's going off. People go to jail for their phones going off in courtroom. You're arguing with the prosecutor over something that could have been taken care of behind chambers or in pretrial conference. It just doesn't make sense for a lot of folks, and that's why people are getting like irritated.
Yeah, he made some Asian joke. He was talking about today, like, the person that got picked was like Black, and the black. No, like it almost feels like I almost feel like a Saturday Night Live skit in a lot of ways, but it's the reality that we're facing. I'm sorry, I cut you off, Farouk. You were starting to say something, and then I want to go to Treble as well.
Yeah, you do that a lot. It's okay. Don't be sorry. Just be careful. No, but Miracle had said something last week, and it's like this just really reminded me of like, yo, this nigga's trying to get on like on some Nancy Grace type time or something. Like he's really trying to be a personality out here. And Miracle had said that he's gonna be on Fox News sooner or later, and with the dog and pony show that is, this only kind of leads you to believe that he has an agenda, like some type of ulterior motive, like he's using this as an ability to get his own platform or something like that. It's just wild that we already know as Black people that the justice system in America is so unfairly stacked against us. But to see a judge act like you said, like this is a caricature, like this shit looks scripted. You know what I mean? And it's wild to watch this and just see that, hey man, like this judge has shown bias for someone who is a clear murderer.
Yeah,
like a clear murder. It's just it's another day in America. It's another week in white supremacy, man. That's all I can say about it.
And to come to trouble, I mean, a lot of people have talked about how like he's a kid. He was a kid that was afraid that like Trayvon didn't get that. Remember, Trayvon didn't even have a weapon. And Trayvon wasn't treated like a child. Tamir Rice wasn't treated like a child. Like none of these like actual Black children were given that grace of, oh, they were just a child. Oh, they made a mistake. Remember with Trayvon, they actually tried to take a picture of the game, the rapper, the game, and be like, this is what Trayvon actually really looked like. They actually tried to take
about that.
Right. They actually tried to take his like childhood away. And then to see actual, we talk about white tears, but to see Rittenhouse give actual white tears and that being made like, oh, he was just a child. And, and then, we've seen Tamir Rice's mom criticized. We've seen the mothers of Black victims of police brutality being criticized, but not this mom has not been criticized. I mean, people put the meme out there that put her picture out there and said she was 38, which shocked me, but that's a whole nother story.
I didn't see that one.
Oh my God. She looked like she 58. But anyway, but no one has said anything like she's not under no charges for what she did. She hasn't really been criticized as a mom. And so to me, all of that is kind of telling. Treble, what's your take?
I seen a meme today that was funny as shit on Twitter where it was like, next the judge is going to put Kyle Rittenhouse on him slam the gavel down when he delivers his verdict. I thought that was fucking hilarious. But it's also indicative of like how this trial is going. I was reading yesterday the characteristics of white supremacy culture, and one of those characteristics is paternalism, right? This idea that like there are people who are qualified to make decisions for those without power, and because they're qualified, they don't have to be transparent about the way that they make certain decisions. And I feel like the judge is trying to utilize this to further this sense of paternalism. And he's not even realizing how he's perpetuating white supremacy culture on camera, live and direct in 4K. You know what I'm saying?
This is a good point. Virginia made like, how can you be afraid? You walking around with an AR-15, like you literally have a machine gun. You know what I'm saying? How and that you shot at people. But now you're afraid. You're afraid for your life. You know what I'm saying? And so it is wild to see this play out. Now, on the flip side, we also have the trial of the murderers of Ahmaud Arbery. Ahmaud Arbery was the brother that was jogging, and these white men formed basically like a lynching party to go into and murdered Ahmaud Arbery. This defense attorney basically had been making waves saying that he didn't want Al Sharpton there. He didn't want Jesse Jackson. Like, how many Black pastors is going to pull up that like Sharpton's mere presence and Jesse Jackson's mere presence would affect or intimidate the jury? And then he said he actually tried to call for a mistrial in the case because Ahmaud Arbery's mother was crying. Again, I want to come to you, Miracle. Because you went to law school, you're Miracle Jones Esquire. Like, is this? I mean, to me, this is nuts to me. That like, here is a mother who is hearing the recounting of her son being murdered, what's she supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there no? So that, I guess this is my question, Miracle. Is there any, like, I've been to trials. I've never been given instructions. I don't know. Is there, do they tell you not to cry, not to, and is that wrong for people to do that? Do they tell you not to bring out Sharpton? What's the protocol?
What they tell you not to do anything that's possibly going to point or taint the jury pool one way or the other. So you're able to cry, but you're not able to like wail, you know, and yell and scream and be overcome with emotion. And a part of that is because they think that as human beings, sometimes we tend to say, you know what, somebody needs to pay for this crime, even if this person is innocent. We'll send this person to jail because we're overcome with emotion. And so the court is trying to mitigate that. You're able to cry, you're able, to make like small murmurs. But like when I've been in court with, and when I do like pack the court, support for people, tell them, don't yell at the police officers, don't, cuss people out, don't, look at the jury and mouth anything to the jury, stuff like that is what you're not supposed to do. People are going to cry. What people don't understand is a lot of times the family members, this is the first time they're hearing about what happened to their loved one. It's also the first time they're seeing a lot of the footage and a lot of the pictures. Because you don't want to spoil evidence, and you don't want to like lose the upper hand. Families are, along with the jury, are seeing things for the very first time. So there is like an emotional reaction, and that's part of the downside of doing like trials. Usually a good judge or a good counsel will alert the families and let them know, like, today is going to be a bad day. We're going to show these images today, and the family members can decide whether or not they're going to attend that day. But that's why the judge was like, she wasn't yelling. She wasn't, saying like they killed my baby, nothing like that to harm the prosecution or the defense's case, which is why the judge has gone on there. I've seen judges just tell the jury to disregard an outburst in the trial and not do a mistrial. I think you've seen it, these defense attorneys are doing everything they can to ask for mistrials from the very beginning. And the judge is like, look, I'm not wasting everybody's time doing a mistrial until there is something worth having a mistrial over.
Yeah, and I think, like, and shout out to the judge. I mean, they did say when his mom was crying that the judge actually adjourned the trial at that time, and took a break. And they said the judge actually, said to the defense lawyer, at this point, I'm not exactly sure what you're doing. At this point, it's almost as if you're just trying to continue this for purposes other than just bring it to the court's attention. And I find that objectionable for the court's standpoint. And so I think, like, what it seems like what the defense attorney's trying to do is insinuate that they're not getting a fair trial. You know what I'm saying? Off top, like, oh, Al Sharpton's here, Jesse Jackson's here, his mom's crying, we're not getting a fair trial. You know what I'm saying? And to somehow, I guess, if he's found guilty, or if they're found guilty, which they should be, I mean, they're on videotape murdering this man, that like, oh, that's why they didn't get a fair shot or a fair trial. Any comment from you, Farouk or Trouble?
When you look at a trial, right, and as someone who's been familiar with the circumstances, when you're there, you know what I mean, you always feel like, let me just stop being PC, man. These motherfuckers, man, they killed this brother.
Yeah, straight up.
Like, there is nothing defensible. There's nothing. It was all reprehensible, man. This shit was calculated. This shit was planned out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is premeditated, in my opinion.
100% premeditated. Yes, I would agree.
And the fact that, not only the family, but us as a community, we have to watch this shit like play out.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And then, for all the viewers and everything that we have, you don't feel obligated that you have to answer white people's questions about how you feel about this trial is happening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because this is still us unpacking trauma as a community watching this shit. Because at the end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen with even one of these cases.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Like it looked like the murders of Ahmaud Arbery can go one way and Kyle Rittenhouse can go the other way. Like, you know what I mean? Like we don't know until we know. And that's kind of the thing about this shit. And is the fact that there are human beings on the planet that can still try to justify murdering a brother while he jogging through somebody's neighborhood. Shit is it's just fucking disgusting, man. That's why we said this week, man, white supremacy stepped it up for us.
Absolutely. And I think, like you said, I mean, it is traumatic, right? Because we're watching like white privilege play out in our own eyes in the way Kyle Rittenhouse trials being treated. We'll watch, basically, for whatever you feel about Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, them being like really demonized as if their mere presence is going to intimidate somebody. And then you see his mom, like I said, the natural reaction to hearing something about your child being killed is, of course, to cry. I mean, so I think you do have all this played out, and it is traumatic. And it is something that, and then, like you said, we got a possible murder of another innocent black man. I mean, all of this is playing out, and you should be able to how do you practice self-care? I don't know. What's your take, Trouble?
So I want to preface my statement by saying, just for the record, that white supremacy does not equal white people, and white supremacy culture is a culture that affects all people that live under it. And I'm gonna just let that be that.
Yes,
I think so. When it comes to the Ahmaud Arbery trial, I'm glad that the judge actually recognizes and holds space for the mother's humanity, because I feel like if he had the same attitude as the defense, that would be a pretty hostile court environment for her. And that's not what she needs at a time of her hearing how her son was murdered for doing nothing, just jogging, and people seeing him and thinking he was guilty of something, and therefore thinking they had the right to take his life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm glad that she had the space to feel and actually mourn the details that they were going over, because it's like, that's hard for any parent to hear. 100%. You lose your child, you know what I'm saying? And you have to sit and listen to the details as they're being spoken. And the way that they speak about them in court, it's like, they try to keep this air of objectivity to it, but in the midst, it's like, it's hard to listen to, because like there's no humanity behind it. They're not saying, this man, like they probably use language that like isn't always the most easier. You feel me? Right. So I'm just glad she had that space. That's the one thing that I like about that whole trial, is that she had that space to be human. And I'm mad that go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and basically we already know what the defense is going to do in this trial. The defense is going to criminalize Ahmaud Arbery. The defense is going to try to act like Ahmaud Arbery was somehow going into houses or attempting to break into houses, and that these gentlemen were, and I don't even want to call them gentlemen, these murderers were actually somehow like protecting their community neighborhood. So we already know. So just like you said, just his mom even showing up is a strong enough act in a sense, because she already knows. I saw on social media somebody put like a picture of his shirt, and it like had a hole blown out of his shirt. You know what I'm saying? And so like for a mother to see this, like you said, if you can't understand that, and just to echo what you said, then something's wrong with you.
And people also have to remember the last thing he heard before he died was them standing over him and calling him the N-word, right? So in the pre-trial conferences, that was the defense attorneys actually the ones who brought that up, because they were trying to make sure that the jury didn't hear it, because they thought it would prejudice the jury if they realized that they were actually calling him racial slurs as he lay dying, and as they refused to give him any medical treatment or CPR or anything while the other police and the paramedics arrived.
It just raised my heart rate.
Sorry. And so it is a lot, that is happening that people have to deal with. And I think what's very important for people to watch in these courtrooms is how sanitized white supremacy and hate really is, right? Mm-hmm. You're not allowed to say, oh, these are racist white men chase down this black, right? It's like these people, and we're using very objective languages, but now we know that they're using racial epithets. They're refusing medical treatment. They're not going by their own their own training and guidelines.
Right.
The original prosecutor in this case is actually being investigated for prosecutorial misconduct for the way she refused to even investigate this case properly.
Right.
And so there's a lot of stuff that's going on. And yes, this is my home state of Georgia, and this actually has caused a lot of laws to be changed when it comes to police investigations, because a lot of people were really shocked about this, how corrupt this whole system was. And yes, this prosecutor was known for, doing a lot of stuff and even harming other white folks. And so this is again why we keep talking about how like white supremacy really impacts and harms all of us. And we have to be mindful of that when we're going forward and we're advocating for these changes, because nobody deserves what happened to Ahmaud Arbery, the lies. And again, people want to talk about, the burglary. It was a place that multiple people walked in and out of, right? It was a place that, was still had open frame, right? And so a lot of people were in and out. And so this isn't like he was breaking, like you could break and take something. It wasn't like he was taking copper wire and stripping copper wire. It's just that he was there. And people, again, just do not like sometimes when people are in their neighborhood, because nobody wants to see somebody just running around in their neighborhood. And that is a part of the conversations that we have to have.
Right.
And even if he was, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if he was stealing from my house, he doesn't deserve to die for it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like that property is replaceable, bro. Human life is not.
And I think that's what we're saying all the time. I mean, we saw that right here with the case of Jim Rogers, right? Property. You saw a piece of a $50 bike, and you saw white people calling the police, like damn near harassing the police because somebody took a $50 bike. And now when you weaponize the police on us, they're dead. And to say that, just to talk about a black person being in your neighborhood. And that's the thing. I mean, just like you said, like we have to worry as black people about like where we are. Mm-hmm. Like if we just happen to be in the wrong neighborhood, even if you're doing your job, right? And that was something that happened in, I believe this was in, was this in Michigan? And this is, I guess we can get, this is our sound of the police, where a white police officer who was off duty saw a black 19-year-old delivering newspapers in his neighborhood, became suspicious of him because he's a black dude. He's a black hoodie freaking black guy, is what he said. Started following him around. Then asked the dude, why he was in the neighborhood. And the dude said, I'm just doing me. And so according to the 911 call, he calls 911 saying, there's a black male in the area and he needs to be checked. He then ended up pulling his gun on the brother. And so is this the video? I guess you can play a little bit of the video. I don't know what that is. Is that an ad or something? No, I don't think this is it. I don't know what that is.
What's the wrong video?
Yeah, this is the wrong video. I don't know what that is. Did I send you the wrong video? Was that on me?
Who knows?
That might have been on me. But again, I mean, so you had a situation where this police officer, off-duty police officer, actually pulled a gun on this 19-year-old black dude, followed him around, chased him around, and thankfully, that black dude.
And he was just delivering papers, right?
He's delivering newspapers. And then the white dude was saying like, well, why, you could have told me. He don't have to tell you what he's doing.
Yeah,
but that's that idea that like you have to tell me. So here's a report about it. We can you can play that.
You're gonna go to jail. All you had to say is, man, I'm just delivering newspapers. All right, bro. But instead you try to blah, blah, blah.
Just after 7 a.m. that morning, Vorse was taking his teenage son to school when he saw a gray van in his neighborhood that he found suspicious. Vorse approached the van in his red pickup truck wearing civilian clothes to ask the driver what he was doing. According to Vorse, cars had been getting broken into near his home, and he thought the driver fit the description of the suspect. The driver responded with, "I'm just doing me." Vorse called 911.
It's a black male hanging out in the area. He said he's just doing me, and he needs to be checked. The plate's covered up with dirt, so I can't get it.
Vorse, with his son still in the car, followed the driver, who later said he put his vehicle in reverse to try to speak with Vorse. But when he reversed, Vorse did too. According to Vorse, he thought the man was trying to ram him.
He just tried to ram me.
Just tried to ram you?
Yeah.
You just tried to ram 602?
Vorse exited his vehicle and pulled out his gun, pointing it at the driver.
He's trying to ram me.
Trying to ram 602 again?
This is so creepy.
He does it again.
He's going to go shots fired if he tries to ram 602 again.
But why are they acting like this nigga's on duty right now?
Thinking he was going to get shot and wanted to be somewhere public. They ended up at a Sunoco gas station where Vorse blocked the man's vehicle, identified himself as a police officer, and demanded he exit.
Can he do that?
His gun at him.
At that point,
police officer Clyde Smith arrived on scene, and Michigan State Police Trooper Luke Schaefer arrived shortly after. They detained the driver.
Man, I'm just delivering newspapers.
Just doing my job,
I'm just
bro.
doing me. I'm just doing me. What is that? What's the difference, bro? I'll be out here every single night. Every time I'm out here, a cop say something to me. Each and every single time. Every single night I'm out here delivering newspapers. What are you talking about? I'm not out here stealing. I'm not out here doing anything. I'm out here delivering
just trying to have a job.
bro.
The City of DeWitt Police Department said in a statement that Vorse was immediately placed on administrative leave for violations of city and police department policy. Though the Clinton County prosecutor declined to pursue criminal charges. The City of DeWitt conducted an internal investigation.
Because like he keeps saying, every time I'm out here, the police mess with me.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and what people forget is there is no way to track that, right? Because the law does not require for you to track positive stops unless it's and this is why we tell people to record every single police encounter to build up a record for harassment, is that unless the police officer records running your plate, records stopping you and talking to you, you can't prove it. Because what we allege as a community are that police officers often illegally run people's plates. They're supposed to have probable cause to do so. But a lot, in some cases, we know that officers just will be randomly running and scanning license plates until they get a ding. And so you really can't go and file assault charges or harassment charges against these officers because you have no proof of evidence. And the fact that every time this man is trying to do his job, he's getting harassed by police, goes to this idea that like we laugh about like the unemployment rate in Black communities. We laugh about the economic plight of Black people, but we don't talk about all the barriers that Black people have to go through just to do our jobs.
Yeah. I think you say that, you make a great point. And like you said, this is why we need to, I put out a song a few years ago called Film the Police. And like, we need to, if you're stopped, you can, put your, to me.
But like that's the thing though, like, bro, but that's the thing though. Like, you start recording the police, they say it's a fucking gun.
Well, look, no, this is what I do. If you pull me over, I take my phone before you even get to the car. I take my phone out, I put it on record. I put it somewhere. I either put it on my little cup holder or whatever. I'm recording every incident.
Absolutely.
Every incident.
Absolutely.
So you're absolutely, but you do have to be careful and you have to be mindful. You're 100% right. And this is the thing where this is white supremacy, right? White people like Kyle Rittenhouse can run around with an AK-47 strapped to him, get water given to him by police officers, get welcomed and loved by police officers, right? We can't even deliver fucking newspapers in a neighborhood without being harassed just because we're Black. This is what being Black in America is. We can't even deliver a newspaper without somebody putting a gun and trying to shoot us. This is what we talk about when we say white supremacy and white privilege. And if you don't know or you don't want to do the research, that's on you, man. You know what I'm saying? But it does not deny the reality that exists. And this is why we have this show for dumb people that want to come in the comments like, what do you mean white supremacy? This is why we had the show. Watch the show. Hey, bro, we got 100 episodes. No, we don't got 100. We got 50 episodes that you can go watch.
Yeah, we got 100. We've been on.
No, 50. We got 50.
Oh, okay. But the thing is, like, I don't have to announce myself in your fucking neighborhood.
You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't.
I don't like. You know what I mean? Like when your parents say announce yourself when you in my house, I'm not in your fucking house, bro.
Right.
Like the thing is like I'm. You know what I mean? I'm traversing the world, whatever, as a human being. Just because you live in that neighborhood or that locale, it doesn't matter if my license plate dirty or nothing. It's Michigan in the wintertime, bruv. The soap on the road is it's gonna be all kinds of madness.
Yes.
You get me?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Your car's gonna be dirty, and if you know what, if that's what it is, then so what? But like
the man said out of his mouth, this was so funny. There's a black man in my neighborhood. He needs to be checked.
Yeah, like
he said this out of his mouth. We didn't say it. He said it. And guess what? He got fired for it. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period.
And he had his son in the car with him. Like but we're laughing.
But that's that mismatch shit. Like that's
I have a point to make.
Go ahead,
we are talking about like outgrowing racism and white supremacy. He has his son in the car with him. What is he teaching his son? Exactly. Right? How is he teaching his son to use and move and go back and go around for things? And that's kind of the problem of like we keep trying to pretend that we're moving away from white supremacy. We're in this post-racial society, but it's like these racists are still, raising racists. And there's even a story 100%. Here, in Western Pennsylvania, where a black, running back was playing football, and the white quarterback what's it called? A tackleback? I forgot what they call it.
Running back?
Whoever tackles the people.
The linebacker.
Linebacker twisted his ankle and then called him the N-word, right? At a game right here in the southwestern Pennsylvania. Right. And so these younger people are learning that hate, internalizing that hate, and they're going to be, Kyle Rittenhouses in the future who are going to come out here and feel emboldened and empowered and protected to cause even more violence and chaos is what's already happening now.
May I say something?
Yes.
When you remember, it was last summer, I was getting followed to the office. I phoned you.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, there's 2 cars on me coming to the office right now.
Yeah.
Right? I'm driving to work, minding my goddamn business.
Yeah, bro.
Like, people don't understand how traumatizing it is to just operate a motor vehicle as a black man in North America.
Right. With that history, because you're driving with a history of black people that would stop for damn near no reason that ended up dead. You know what I'm saying? And then
I always cite Philando Castile.
Yeah. And then we're individuals that are known as people that have called for accountability in policing. So then what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? And that's all of that goes into that. I'm gonna go to you, Trouble.
Yo, I felt every bit of his frustration in that video because it's 100%. Like, of course he's going to respond to this white man asking him what he's doing, that I'm just doing my thing. If he was stopped every time he's tried to deliver these newspapers. At this point, he's feeling like, I don't have to explain myself to y'all. I'm doing my job. I don't answer to y'all. Y'all don't sign my checks. Fuck off my case. You know what I'm saying? But every night he's out there, he gets stopped by police. And then this is the one time that it finally goes on camera. And I actually feel for bro, because it's like, yo, like how many more times is he going to get stopped by police that might not even make it to the national news? You know what I'm saying? It's
kind of like, it's like what Miracle said. I mean, like, this is why we got to record it. This is why, like, because they're not even putting that on the books. You know what I'm saying? But the underlying thing is why do they keep around? They want to let you know, like, you're not supposed to be here. You're not. This is our neighborhood. This is a white neighborhood. You're not supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? And the reality is funny because the reality when you talk about segregation is that schools are more segregated now, today, in 2021 than they were at the height of segregation. Like, but you would have to actually read a book and study to understand and know these type of things that are happening. So, like you said, like we
tell some jokes because I'm over here tight, bro.
We don't want to get into. Hey, well, I mean, you
see, your man got sentenced to 41 months.
Oh, you talking about QAnon? The QAnon shaman?
Yeah, man. I wonder if he's going to do deliveries to his jail cell. Like,
I don't know.
Get vegan cheese in the clink.
It's federal. It's a federal jail. Remember, he sued. It's a federal jail. He sued to have a vegan, you know what I'm saying, like diet. I don't know. But even that, to me, that's not enough. 41 months? You know what I'm saying?
For a coup.
Three and a half years, and you busted into the Capitol, and senators were running for cover. You went into their offices and put your feet on their desk. That's not enough. 5 years? Bro, that ain't enough. Not when we got brothers and sisters that done sold weed and doing 20 years, 25 years for selling weed.
What here's a question. Here's a legit question. Miracle, chime in, please. Right? Treason is punishable by death, right? That is right. Now, in certain circumstances, as someone who's not a Native American citizen, can't you be alienated of your naturalization and be what's the word? There's a word for it. It's lawfully expatriated. Yes.
That's what they were doing to people who were.
Oh, you mean right? You mean whenever we complain about the government, how they always told us go back to our own country?
Well, not just that, but
leave it.
They take your citizenship. Yeah, they take your citizenship. So they treat you as an alien.
Yeah, and then you basically.
I like that.
Yeah, no. I think it's called lawful expatriation. Forcible expatriation. Yeah.
So for instance, when people were going overseas to fight for ISIS, they were that was one of the things that they did.
Oh yeah, the white.
So then what ends up happening is you are basically you're no longer a citizen in the country, and you have like no rights, and so you can't.
But you said you don't think Q Shaman we should do that? You're saying Miracle? You don't think we should do that?
I don't think no, because then like what happens to people, like they're still in the border. So then where do you put them? You drop them in some brown country and you drop, that's
they did to me. They did to me. Shit.
But you can't keep them here. So then you just make them somebody else's problem.
Love it or leave it. You don't like Biden being president? To believe, then peace out, my nigga.
Love it or leave it.
That's what you told us for damn near my whole life. Every time I complain about the government, I was told to leave. Guess what? Kick rocks, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? So are we going to jokes now? You know what I'm saying? Like, we got the big jokes, racists. Man. And this is how we know.
I like when we have racists in the chat.
That's what I'm saying. This how you know.
This how you know.
I was waiting for that because that's how you know you kind of like got another level of popularity that the racists come in. You feel me? Like
they be on the message boards like the Negroes are at it again.
welcome white supremacy.
They be on Reddit going dumb.
This is a show all about you. Like this is a show,
right? Yeah, like this is you should be happy. You should be happy. You know what I'm saying? We lost you had up in it. Like
what's the chick who didn't understand that there was a show on Netflix called You? What was her name?
I have a distinct opinion about that.
That it was like an Abbott and Costello remake?
Yeah, I think they did it on purpose.
That was some Abbott. Yeah, that was definitely some Abbott and Costello shit.
And so who's on first? I just want to point out that if y'all weren't out here watching Fox News, y'all wouldn't have seen that little snippet and it wouldn't have gone viral.
I seen it on TikTok.
To point out again, a lot of these allies and accomplices that y'all love.
Come with it. Hold on, I'm stepping away.
Really
Zoom in.
Undercover racists and white
watching Fox News
who just watch to see what the other side is thinking, when in reality we all know what the other side is thinking, and clearly from the comments it hasn't changed in 15 years, right? And so there is no reason to see what the other side is thinking and saying, because what they're saying is they don't like black people and all these different type of languages and words, and it doesn't change from week to week. So I just want to point out, whether it's watching far right people say our chants or sing our song,
co-opting our shit,
or try to reclaim our hashtags, it's because a lot of y'all are really out here working with the enemies and not being as intersectional and for equity as you claim. That's all I'm going to say about that.
If all of you that went to these protests and did all these things and, like you said, came out as allies, Donald Trump wouldn't have 43% of the vote.
No, that's real. But I did want to talk about this one story, bro, before we get to the jokes.
What story?
Well, I think what it is so the story of like because there's always whenever we talk about police brutality, all cops aren't bad, right? And so I did want to talk about the story where an actual police officer, right? Stop looking at the comments, y'all. An actual police officer shared a video, right? Shared a video of a black person being killed, right? His name was Sergeant Javier Esqueda of the Joliet Police Department, Joliet, Illinois. He shared a video about how basically a black man who died in police custody because cops slapped him, restricted his breathing, shoved a baton in his mouth, and drove him to the police station instead of a hospital, and he died. This cop shared that video of his other fellow officers mistreating this black man and causing his death, and they weren't kicked out of the police union. He was kicked out of the police union. They weren't fired. They're trying to fire him. The police officer.
The video.
And he's facing 20 years in prison. Mind you, the video had already been shared outside of police ranks already with family members and other people. And so it was not, protected
Did
information.
his blue lives matter?
And therefore, the cops not only said we're kicking him out the union, the cops said prosecute him so other officers won't do the same thing.
Violate the blue line or cross the blue line.
Police officers are the biggest gang in America.
Gang in America.
Once you jump in, you can't get out.
Right. So I did just want to share that just because that's always the thing, right? Oh, the police, they're on your side. Oh, to talk to your man. And the USA Today did a story of hundreds of police officers. That's what they do, right? If you share, if you tell, you met the police officer in New York.
And I was. Can I talk on that?
Talk on that.
So a friend of mine, his name is Derby St. Croix. He's a captain in the New York Police Force. The Atlantic and New York Times wrote a piece on him. Again, his name is Derby St. Croix. You can look this up. He's from Haiti. He blew the whistle on his superior officer for misconduct, racism, and a bevy of other charges that were seditious and unbecoming of an officer in the NYPD. There was some specific language that I don't know, and I don't really care to use it because the nigga was violating. Anyway, he took the rank of the officer he blew the whistle on, only to find death threats against him and his family. And he was given a specific security detail of black officers to protect him on his way home and from the precinct and station in 1PP. So don't tell me about all this uniformity and solidarity and protection that the police have when they acting like the fucking mafia, innit?
Right.
That's some Gambino crime family syndicate shit. Some Genovese, some, Some fucking Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. So don't chat to me that this is not no gang culture, right? When you have officers, and anybody serving in the military know there's a difference between non-commissioned and real officers. These ain't just foot soldiers, nigga. These are real fucking officers that saying, listen, I got death threats against my family because I'm talking about racism. So don't chat to me that this blue line or some shit is some fucking superior moral compass that's there to protect and serve all the people in the United States of America, because it's not the fucking deal, nigga.
We know it's not. And we've seen it, bro. It's so much stuff that we have. Because you got to, I think about like how, Muhammad Ali talked about how when he won the gold medal, right? And he won the gold medal for the United States and came back and he couldn't even sit at a restaurant, right? And eat at a restaurant for the country that he won the gold medal for, right? And then you had a situation where now you got the young woman who won the gold medal in gymnastics, Sunny Lee, in 2021, actually saying, she got treated racist. She got pepper sprayed by racists. She got called a bunch of Asian, hate words or epitaphs or whatever you want to say in 2021. And so this is what we're saying. Like, the more things they say change, the more things stay the same, man. This is a white supremacist place. And every day America shows more and more and more what it is. And then when you say, like, remember they used to tell us, this next generation is not going to be racist. You had a 14-year-old black girl that can't even go to school because these white girls was calling her nigger on video and sharing the video throughout the high school. And so, I think this is what we're facing as we continue to, and this is why, we have the show to continue to bring a lot of this stuff to light. You know what I'm saying?
I'm tight, bro. I'm sorry. I'm over here.
You should be tight. So let's go. How about this? Let's go to our Karen of the week. You know what I'm saying? Speaking, I don't know if it's
well played.
Let's go to our Karen, because our Karen of the week actually took place at a comedy show. And for whatever reason,
I've been waiting for someone to do this to a comedian that could tear their ass to shreds. Like, could you imagine if someone did this to Patrice O'Neal if he was still alive? God bless the dead.
Oh my God. he would just roast you if you looked at him wrong.
I'm about to say he might actually been canceled. They might have came for sure.
Oh my God, yeah, he looked at it wrong. You know what I'm saying? And so
no one does. I'm just saying it's popular to say now.
Yeah, it's popular to say. So let's see what happens with a Karen at a comedy show. And it always I can't hear y'all. I don't know what y'all talking about. It makes me wonder too. Like, did she feel like she had the agency to do this because this was a black comedian? But she felt like she could go up and stop the show. So
yeah, would she have done this to like Bill Burr or Joe Rogan?
Great question. All right, let's go, Gary. Let's see what's up.
Man, it's a goddamn comedy show. What the fuck it is? You gotta ingest this. What's the problem? Huh? What's the problem? I want to know what the fuck she had to ask you. Goddamn competitive. What do you want to know? We know you're a woman. We can tell.
I just don't understand.
Good. How? How am I insulting people by talking about sexual matters between adults? I'm talking about consenting adults here. I have sex with women. So me being up here describing my life is insulting to you? Then how can you speak for the whole crowd and tell me that I'm insulting them? Is anybody insulting? Sounds like a resounding yes over here.
They're like, just get off the stage, please. He's like, no.
Look at her get upset when they call her Karen.
They're just like, please move. Everybody's
Hi, Karen.
She was like, oh no. That was right.
So my goddamn stage.
Yo, she thought the crowd was gonna have her back. That's funny.
That was what? See, here's the thing. There are some comedians I do not like, and I don't go to their shows. I have been in comedy places, but like, you know, this comedy is not for me, and I just grab my item. I'll leave a show quick. And so it was like very weird for that. But it's also like, if she had a problem, why didn't she just heckle from the audience?
Right, like everybody else does.
Like, why didn't you just like try to be a part of the show and go back? Like, y'all should watch the 85 South show. The people be running up on them all the time, trying to heckle them and trying to make them. I mean, you're gonna get roasted all the way home. But like, yes, I just don't understand. Was she not familiar with him? Like Andrew Schultz, I will never go to one of his shows.
Yeah, me neither. He don't.
My friend loves him to death. It's like never got free tickets.
He's too comfortable. To me, like, he's just another white man. Is too comfortable, man.
It's not the comedy for me.
Right.
When the dude was the dude who talked jokes about abortion being murder. What is it? Patrice O'Neill. I forgot. It's the other, but like
I don't know.
When he came here. I got tickets to his show, and my friend was
like, D.L. Hughley. Wow, maybe D.L. Hughley or somebody like that. Or?
Oh God, I forgot.
He's not funny to me.
It's another big black. I forgot what his name is. But anyways, my friend was like, "Hey, I know you're up on your feminist stuff. If you come here, this show was not the show for you. Go look on YouTube." And I was like, "Oh, that joke was okay. It wasn't that bad." And he still went and saw the show. So like with comedy. Yes, sometimes comics draw the line, you know, the whole Dave Chappelle, you know, BS. Yeah. And you have to figure out before, especially when it's a set that's already out there, about whether you want to go or not. He's not filming new material. It's stuff that the jokes are already out there. So you look on YouTube, but I'm going to go or I'm not.
But this is the thing, Miracle. It's like, okay, let's say, just like you said, it's like a movie. It's like you watching a movie, you don't like it. You know, I thought what was the movie? The Eternals. I thought that was a horrible movie. I thought it was horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
20 minutes in, I was like, this movie's terrible. I can leave, right? I'm not going to go up and try to fight I'm going to go up on the stage and start doing stuff like that. The fact that as a white woman, like, one, it's still COVID. It's still like a global pandemic. You up there unmasked, all trying to be in somebody's face. That's a no-no. Two, like, she was allowed to go on the stage. Nobody really, like, she could have had a weapon. She could have, like, nobody pretty much tripped out. You know what I'm saying? And then he actually even allowed her to say something. You know what I'm saying? So I think all of that, but that's the idea that like her feelings took precedent over. This is what it means to be a Karen, right? You think you are the decision maker for everybody else, and like your decision, your agency is above everybody else. So she actually thought she was gonna go up there and stop the comedy show. And like the whole crowd, I don't know what she saw in her head. Did she see like the whole crowd, like, you know, like diving in on her? I don't know what she saw, man. It was crazy.
So when you see,
she thought she was about to start a rally.
She did. She thought she was
she thought this was her moment, like that woman that brought the microphone on the airplane. Like she thought this was her moment. Like, you know what I mean? She's like, yeah, like I'm gonna go viral. I'm gonna be a social justice champion. I mean, like I'm doing this for us everywhere. Wrong.
Yeah. So let's get to our Black excellence, because we have some Black excellence today. You know what I'm saying? So did you want to share with us, Shy, your Black excellence, my brother?
Listen. It finally came, y'all.
Finally came. All right, look closely. Look closely, racist. Look closely. This something y'all will never get. Look closely.
A fucking Emmy, bro.
Big flexer.
An Emmy, bro. From a poem that y'all can take notes from called Don't Tip Our Tails. Because you're in the comments clipping your own tails right now. But hey, we're all here to learn. We're here to share knowledge, spread joy and prosperity. It's dope to have an Emmy at 25, bro.
Do you have, is there like a place? Do you have like a mantle? Is there a place that you know you're gonna set it or put it? Or
I'm telling you, make a chain out that shit. I'm telling you, bro.
I don't know. I know I'm gonna get a display case for sure.
Gotta get a display case.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, but I'm actually not sure where I'm gonna put it.
Yeah, it's gotta be. It's gotta be like whenever you do your whatever you do from your play, that they can see it. It's gotta be like over your shoulder, like on display. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like boom. Yes. Yes.
Like decorate the whole room.
Do you got one of these though? Do you got one of these?
You feel me?
We got a couple call to actions before we go. Are we gonna do our white pages? Let's do our white pages. You know what I'm saying?
Look at this shit, motherfucker. Look at this. This will be my undoing. Not you, man, in the comments. The shit we dealing with right now. I know how to read.
Can you tell a little bit about what is this book about? Can you put a little bit about?
Yeah, I actually can. Right.
Okay.
This book is about.
This is a book, a collection about what it means to be like Black and a woman in this America, and people's firsthand experiences of engaging anti-Blackness, sexism, homophobia, all this type of stuff, and trying to overcome it and deal with it. So it's a personal narrative of just how our struggles are and what it means to really be Black at this time. So people who may not have Black friends, who may not have like a multicultural, place of living. This could be a starter book for you to read. And just read it, see what's happening.
I thought like a starter book would be like C Spot Run.
No, a starter book's the beginning, right?
The beginning of one's
your
journey.
Awakening. The beginning of your awakening.
But I thought they were against woke culture.
It's not, everybody has, just because people are trash doesn't mean they're recyclable. Everyone can turn for the better. Do a 360.
Of course.
Of course.
I hate when people say that. I did a 360. So you back when you started, nigga?
You do a full 180.
A 180. That's what we want. So thank you for that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely get your read on, of course, if you're able to read. And then we got a couple call to actions. One, we talked a little bit about it at the start of the show. Julius Jones, innocent man on death row. We have one more day to convince the governor to save his life. Many people, as far as it was wild. I actually saw a video of Baker Mayfield, who's the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, but was a quarterback for Oklahoma College, talk about Julius Jones and the fact that he believes he's innocent. So you had a lot of people kind of stepping up to try to save his life. I'm gonna drop something in the chat, some things that you can do if you don't know about the case, and it also gives you some things that you can do. You can contact the governor of Oklahoma and let them know, we want, this innocent man free from death row. Julius Jones. So definitely, keep him and your family in our prayers. And then tomorrow, did you want to talk about the event tomorrow, Miracle?
Sure, why not? Tomorrow, for my fellow Yinzers, the people in southwestern PA, tomorrow at 3 p.m., the rally in solidarity with the UPMC workers who are striking is 3 p.m. Outside of the UPMC headquarters. Again, the workers have been asking for $20 minimum wage, for access to improved healthcare benefits and a right to have their own union. During this COVID-19 pandemic, they have been working, tirelessly to keep people safe, being exposed to COVID-19, not being able to, take days off, not being able to be as flexible, and having to deal with the realities of death and crises during this pandemic. And while UPMC has hit profit margin after profit margin, has been able to get a lot of support for the COVID-19 crisis. It hasn't filtered down to the workers. So the workers are going on strikes for Strike-tober. Now Strike November at 3 p.m. There'll be performances, speeches, rallies, actions that you can take. So if you want to join Solidarity with the Workers tomorrow, 3 p.m., I believe it's 600 Grant Street.
Can I say something?
Yes.
My favorite Kevin Costner film is Robin Hood.
What? How?
We mean how? He's not that great of an actor.
Yeah, but he got movies better than Kevin Costner.
Kevin
Costner was in The Untouchables, brother. The Untouchables is 1,000 times better than Robin Hood.
But A Message in a Bottle, Kevin Costner?
Yeah, he's real too.
You know what? I'm not
Sean Connery, The Untouchables. That was amazing.
But that wasn't Kevin Costner leading the ship.
But he was in the movie. That was his
best. But I'm talking about his, if you're talking about Kevin Costner as like a main attraction,
Robin Hood was whack. Come on, Kevin Costner.
Was the main. And Brian Adams, a Canadian sang that theme song.
Kevin Costner was Elliot Ness. He was the main character, bro.
In The Untouchables, he was Elliot Ness.
Yes,
really?
Yes.
Bodyguard, Kevin Costner. Hold on.
Bodyguard. Whitney made the Bodyguard.
Miracle went to look up his ID. Miracle's on his IMDb page.
Those James cool.
No.
Hey.
No.
He ain't Tom Hanks.
Was he in Tombstone? I haven't got down.
No, he wasn't in Tombstone. No, he wasn't in Tombstone.
Okay.
That
was Val Kilmer.
But
no.
Untouchables is by far a better movie than Robin Hood. That's not even.
But he wasn't the star though.
He was the main character. All right. So real quick. Also. Tomorrow, if you are in Wilkinsburg, if you're a citizen of Wilkinsburg, we'll be at Hosanna House. Citizen of Wilkinsburg.
Stop to embarrassing me in public, and you're gonna call Kevin Costner. That's my mama's favorite actor, and you're gonna say he's not good.
He's cool. He's cool. He's decent. So tomorrow at 5:30,
like 20 times.
We'll be at Hosanna House. Can I just get this real quick?
I'm just floored.
Tomorrow at 5:30.
He ain't Tom Hanks.
The way I feel right now is how you felt when I said I ate chitlins. Okay, this is so
you were a child, Miracle. You were a child. You didn't know, Miracle. Okay. You didn't know better, Miracle. You didn't even last year.
Goddamn Christian Bale, I'll tell you that.
So
he did way more than that. He was American Psycho.
Untouchables was much better than Kevin Costner's a man. So real quick, tomorrow, if you're from Wilkinsburg, you want to talk about for or against the merger, we're going to have another conversation at Hosanna House, 5:30, 7:30. Please come out. And then tomorrow we also have Ask a Black Doctor.
Why gotta be so black? Why gotta be Ask a Black Doctor? Why can't it just be Ask a Doctor?
Because we're talking to the people who are impacted the most, and making sure that they feel seen and heard and supported and comfortable and talking to medical professionals due to the medical racism that has plagued this region and this nation.
Also now medicine's racist. They just trying to help people.
Has been and forever will be. Look at the sterilization.
Is that why they wear white coats?
Look at the sterilization that happened. Look at a whole bunch of stuff. Now we're talking about diabetes, we're talking about the flu, and we're talking about COVID-19.
Oh, that's kind of hot.
The sugar. You're talking about the sugar.
Vax the blacks. I like that.
We're talking about that. But before, if today we stressed you out and you're feeling angry, we got you too. Because at noon we have On Tilt, our mental health show.
mental health show.
Talk to you about getting your mental right. So therefore, all the anger and frustration that you're feeling right now,
yes,
you won't feel by
and then
tomorrow.
And then guess what? Next week, Miracle. Next Wednesday, the eve of one of the most racist holidays ever made.
Colonization.
Thanksgiving.
What?
Here's the question though. Bro, let me ask you this question though. How you like your cranberry sauce?
I mean, if I'm gonna eat it, it's got to be out of a can. I'm with that. Don't be trying to sneak no cranberries in my sauce. Like,
I don't mind it if there's actual cranberries in the can sauce. Yeah, I don't mind that.
But I grew up. I mean, I grew up poor. You know, we got cranberry sauce.
Listen, bro. I'm
gonna take instant mashed potatoes. I like those. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad. But listen, I had a friend of mine, and before you say it, yes he was. His sister-in-law made some cranberry sauce, and I'm eating it, right? And I'm like, why is there green and orange in your cranberry?
Why is there mayonnaise?
Listen, I was like, why is there green and orange in your cranberry sauce? So I'm eating it, and I'm like, this is unusually crunchy. Cranberries aren't like. I'm like, what did you put in here? Celery? She's like, yeah, it's actually celery and carrots. I was like, why?
What?
Listen, wallahi, celery and carrots and cranberry sauce. I was like,
what? That don't even.
I was thinking nuts and like actual orange.
That's horrible.
Like, maybe she put
orange. Right, orange.
Orange is cool.
She put vegetables in a fruit sauce.
She turned it into a fruit loaf. Like,
yeah. And that's probably why. That's probably why white people. Hey, bro, and that's probably why like white people be so mad because they just the unseasoned food that they forced to eat on a daily basis is probably like, yo, you know.
Oh yeah, they gotta get a better diet and you know what I'm saying, get that gut health going.
Get a gut health.
I'm not a particular fan of stuffing.
I love stuffing.
I'm not either. I'm not stuffing.
Yeah.
Mac and cheese.
Sweet potato. We call it sweet potato casserole, but sweet potatoes, yams, whatever y'all put, you know.
Sweet potato pie.
You don't like
yams? Just a little too sweet for my blood, Miracle. It's a little too sweet. Not that I don't like them. I don't hate them. A little too sweet for me. Just a little.
My man wife makes sweet potato cheesecake.
Oh no. I was bomb.
Do you put pecans in your pumpkin pie and your sweet potato pie?
I've never had it that way, but I'm not opposed to it because I like pecans.
You know, we strictly navy bean over here, Miracle. We strictly.
Bean pie.
We keep it all the way black.
I haven't had a bean pie in like 3 months.
We keep it all the way black. Well, I'll hit my man up. All right, so
like this is your holiday bonus.
Listen, I'll take that. I need one of the. You get me? I need one of these.
Oh, you need the big ones.
Yeah.
Did y'all peep Andres? Comment traveled the world for spices and ain't even use them.
That's a bar.
That's funny as hell.
If y'all see me out in public, I don't know y'all, and it'll be okay.
Yeah, man. Some cloves and some nutmeg go a long way, man.
But are we going to do a poll again for?
I mean, some Lowry's.
What is the most racist holiday? And we're going to do the poll again.
I always say it's Thanksgiving every year.
Yeah. It probably is. Well, we'll see that.
People say no, it's Juneteenth.
So we hope. Like, hey, yo, we hope. Look, the Juneteenth is the most racist.
We're celebrating the end of racism or the end of slavery is racist.
Juneteenth's gonna be up there. So look, we hope. So look, we're every Wednesday at 6 p.m. We hope everybody in the comments rejoins us at 6 p.m. next Wednesday. Like, let's get it. We appreciate it.
Like and subscribe.
Yes.
And maybe,
tell a friend.
And maybe if you designate a spokesperson, we may allow them on the show to do a counter discussion.
You know what, man?
Yeah,
that would be interesting. I would like that.
Because we don't do that.
Would be.
That would be.
Yes. So I'll see y'all. I guess we'll all see you all next Wednesday. Until that time,
inshallah.
Yes, the Emmy's gonna be on the shelf next week. You know what I'm saying? That means God willing. All right, we'll see y'all.
I want to help educate our listeners or reviewers, our first timers.
Yes. That means if it be God's will, we'll see y'all.
We're a Muslim-based organization. They don't even know.
All right. Peace, y'all. I think we're good, Gary. I think we're good. Just take us home, bro. You can take us to the outro. Welcome to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. They suck the blood of the poor and they wipe their mouth. The last gasp of a world that is dying out.
Welcome to the Whitest House, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy